I recently went to Italy and decided not to bring my full camera gear with me and instead travel light with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, a simple case and a couple of lenses, including an anamorphic lens for making cinematic footage and also a 6x telephoto lens for some telephoto shots. And the result shocked me. It is not the first time I'm using an anamorphic lens with the Galaxy phone, but this time the combination of the quality of the lens together with the new log profile on Samsung phones created some magical footage that is very difficult to say was shot on a phone and not a dedicated camera. Emo, this is Tecmo, and in this video the camera accessories I'm using are from Freewell, but this video is not sponsored by them. I'll put the link to the accessories I used today in the description. The first accessory you need to use is a case. You can also opt for getting a rig that I'll talk about later, but for traveling, it is a bit bulky. The case I'm using is from Freewell and works with the lenses. The case itself is light and can be used as a normal case. It is also MagSafe compatible if you want to, for example, attach a hard drive to the back of the phone. The second thing is a lens that you need to attach to the case or the rig. I'll start with the anamorphic lens. Previously, I got colored ones like gold or blue, but this time I opted for ones without color. There are different versions and this one is 1.33x. If you don't know what an anamorphic lens is, it is a specialized lens that compresses an image horizontally to capture a wider field of view than possible with a standard lens, which then creates a wider screen look. That's why the footage you take from an anamorphic lens looks more cinematic, quote to quote. And you'll also have these black bars on the top and bottom of the footage since the aspect ratio is no longer 16:9. Fortunately, the Galaxy S25 Ultra does support anamorphic lenses natively, and you don't need to use any third-party app. You only need to install Camera Assist, then you go to the Camera Assist setting and turn on the options for anamorphic support. Then you can use the Pro Video mode to capture your video. The good thing about the Pro Video mode is that you can also control your white balance and shutter speed. Another thing that I really recommend you do is to use the log profile when you're shooting with the anamorphic lens. Log is a color profile that looks very boring with muted colors, but that's the beauty of it, because it means you can simply add the colors later to your footage however you want. For example, since I'm shooting in Venice, I made the colors more punchy and with a warmer tone. Also, you need to align the anamorphic lens straight. Fortunately, the Freewell lens has a gauge on it that helps you with that. You just need to wiggle the lens a bit until it is fully aligned so the image won't be distorted. I don't know about you, but for me, the combination of the Pro Video mode, the log color profile, the anamorphic lens, and also the features you get from shooting videos on Galaxy phones like 8K and smooth zooming into the subject without changing lenses simply made the footage look magical. And it is getting as close as possible to a dedicated camera, to the point that I most likely won't carry most of my lenses and camera gear with me anymore when I'm traveling. I'll just bring a small compact camera for taking some B-roll of the phones themselves for YouTube. The anamorphic lenses also make the light flare look different than a normal lens, which gives a characteristic to the scene. I'm using the neutral color anamorphic lens, but if you use a blue color or a golden one, the lights will turn blue and gold. The second lens that I brought with me to Italy was this 6x telephoto lens. You may ask, but there is already a 5x telephoto lens on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Why do we need another telephoto lens? And that's a very fair point. The reason you might want to use a dedicated telephoto lens is that, for one, the main sensor on the Galaxy S25 Ultra is more capable than the built-in telephoto sensor. So you'll be able to get better bokeh for your shots, and the bokeh will look more like a normal camera instead of a telephoto one. And generally speaking, you'll get better overall optical quality than using the phone's telephoto lens. That said, I did notice that sometimes there is some vignetting on the photos, meaning the corners of the photo have a different exposure than the center. You can of course use the lens in the video mode as well, the lens will make the footage shake more than usual. You have to use the active mode, which helps a bit with stabilization. Another thing you can do is to fix it in post. For example, here the footage is quite shaky, but then apply the stabilization effect in Adobe Premiere, and now the footage is stable and usable. The lens also has a focus ring, so while taking a photo or video, you can manually change the focus point by simply rotating it and creating focus pull effect. You can also put the 6x lens over the phone's 5x zoom lens and create something like a 300x zoom on the phone. You are definitely not going to get the best image quality out there, but it is fun to take a few shots like this for wildlife or things you can't really see. For me, this combo isn't exactly about the image, but more about what I can see, like a telescope, if that makes sense. The footage you get from this combo is extremely shaky, but if you apply stabilization in post, the footage is rather usable. I would say maybe this mode in combination with a tripod would work better. Speaking of tripods, you can use the rig that I showed earlier also as a tripod by simply removing one handle and attaching it to the bottom of the case. The other handle can be used as a monopod, and you can probably use it to get some creative shots or even selfies. The other nice thing about this rig, called the Genius rig, which I like a lot, is that you can use the Bluetooth module on top of the handle as a shutter button, so you don't need to remove your hand from handles to take pictures or videos. The case and the rig are the right choices if you want more stable footage or if you want to attach accessories like external mics, lenses, lights, and other things to your phone, for example, for shooting a wedding. Otherwise, I say a combination of the lens together with a case is a better option for most people, since you only need to carry a small lens instead of a whole rig when you travel or are on the go. The only downside of this setup is that you have to change the case whenever you change your phone, but you can keep using the same lenses, and they are compatible with previous and future cases. You can also attach other accessories to this setup like ND filters. If you want to know more about that and have a more in-depth review of the rig, you can watch the comparison of Galaxy versus iPhone using this setup next. Thanks for tuning into Techno, and I will see you in the next one.